my skepticism of an entity, Abraham, and I'd like you to address that from wherever I am and speak to that. That's my question.
It is quite surprising to us that so many physical beings become so fully immersed in the physicality of their experience that they lose their conscious awareness of the connection that sustains them. In other words, you are like so many others, you are so focused in your time-space reality, and you have become so good at deciphering your reality by interpreting vibration through your physical senses. Sight is just a vibrational interpretation. Sound is just a vibrational interpretation. So you have all of this physical mechanism to interpret vibration, and you get so good at it that that reality becomes dominant, and in fact you sort of lose sight of your connection to source energy. So all Esther is doing here is demonstrating in this moment a fuller connection to who she really is than most people consciously do. She's not doing anything that any of you don't do. In other words, you hear on the television that with the tsunami that animals survived for the most part. There was some caged or trapped that did not, but those that were free to follow their own inspiration received guidance and moved themselves into the place that they wanted to be. And humans have trained that out of themselves, and that is what that skepticism is. It is the conscious training out of my awareness who I really am. Now, another thing that we really want to say to you is that often you are connected to that broader stream. In other words, there is no one in this room, almost no one that you will ever meet, that is not a large part of their life experience allowing a rather full part of who they are to flow through. In the beginning, as we began talking through Esther and to Jerry, and then to a few others, and then to more others, we began talking to them about the physical you and the non-physical you. And in some ways, we sort of split them into two pieces, not wanting to, but we were so aware that most were so unaware of the inner being part of them that we got pretty heavy on that emphasis, because we want you to begin to recall who you really are. Of course, when you die, you will leave behind all doubt and fear and worry, and you will reemerge into that full awareness of who you really are. We just like it when you are able to adjust your vibration to allow it here. So Jerry perhaps has the best vantage point of all, because he lived with Esther before Abraham. He lived with Esther during the Abraham unfolding. Even today, he knows the difference between Esther and Abraham. And so he has no struggle with understanding that Abraham is a broader consciousness than Esther on a day-to-day basis ordinarily allows. One morning, not so long ago, Esther woke up and said, "Abraham, it feels so good when you flow through me. How would you like to just come in permanently? How'd you like to just walk in my body?" And we say, we always, always do. In other words, we are never not offering ourselves to you. But Esther, in this example that you are witnessing here, has managed a vibrational alignment with that which is the vibration of Abraham, which allows a fuller interpretation of our broader, more expanded knowledge. She literally has access to infinite intelligence. And to the degree that she can allow it, she can express that. And to the degree that you can ask it, it comes forth. There is nothing that Abraham is or is wanting you to know that we can or desire to assert to you. We only offer that which you are asking for, because this is a universe based upon attraction. And so as you are asking for something and we have the ability to assist, we offer it. But we notice that as we vibrate here in this place of pure positive energy, now think about this emotional scale that we've talked about. So here's Abraham vibrationally in this place of pure positive energy. And when Esther and Jerry met Abraham, Esther's vibration was somewhere between frustration and joy most of the time. In other words, she rarely dipped into anything lower than that. She was living happily ever after and knew it and felt grateful for her life experience. So it was not a big jump for Esther through meditation to allow her vibrational connection to that which is us, you see. Sometimes someone will come to a teacher even to the teacher that we call you, and they may be in a state of great frustration or great despair. Their life isn't working and they want your help. Maybe they're sick in some strong way. And as your vibration is here in this place of believing or knowing, and their vibration is here in this place of fear, they cannot hear what you have to say, because vibrationally, even though you're saying it, they can't hear it. And so all Esther did through a process of meditation for a period of about 9 months, it didn't actually take that long for her to quiet her mind and allow her vibration to raise. But during meditation, that does happen. When you quiet your mind, you stop thought. And when you stop thought, you stop any resistance. And when you stop resistance, your vibration raises. Just like when you let go of the cork, it bobs back to the surface. Because the natural state of being is one of pure positive energy. So, as Esther meditated and allowed her vibration to raise, she was in the vibrational vicinity then of receiving the radio signals that we were offering. And she is able at that unconscious level to interpret those signals into the physical word equivalent. Now, we know that someone could have a grandmother who just taught appreciation, who never heard the word law of attraction, who never heard the name Abraham, who never met Jerry and Esther or anyone like them. And they could live as profound and meaningful a life experience as someone who came to every Abraham gathering that ever happened and learned everything about law of attraction and applied it deliberately. Because you don't have to understand or embrace what Abraham is in order to line up with who you really are. And we really are not caring at all whether you acknowledge Abraham or Esther as what they profess to be. But it is our desire that somehow, some way, you find some way, and there are a lot of them. There are people in churches all over the world who have desire to be worthy and desire to do good works, who believe in the structure of the church in which they are a part and therefore are in alignment. There are no wrong paths. There are many, many right paths, you see. Skepticism doesn't serve you because it is saying, here is something that someone wants me to believe that I don't want to believe, and it's contradictory in nature. So we would far rather that someone who felt skeptical of something would move on to something that they don't feel skeptical of just so that they could line up their energy rather than convince someone against their will. There are no only right truths here.